Arr, Maxwell! I see something to the northeast of our ship.
Yes, sir. I believe it's squalls that be blowing.
Oh no, it's more than squalls that be blowing. I think we've got a beastie on our tail.
What? A beastie?
A beastie! A nasty,
no.
nasty beastie. Oh my gosh! I think I be seeing the Kraken.
That's the Kraken?
That's a Kraken.
Bring him on board, then.
Welcome. It's nothing.
Hello.
It's nothing sacred for the week of January 10th, 2016. I am Cruise Control.
I'm Maxwell Silverhammer.
I'm the Kraken.
And we do have the Kraken here. He is unleashed on our show this week. It is like I said, the 10th of January. So it's actually a 1 month away, 1 month from the time that you fucking came out. It's already been a fucking month since you've been out to Oregon, dude, pretty much.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I
crazy,
had a
man.
good time, but it's already been, oh my goodness. Well, hey, I'll be coming again soon.
Yeah. You'll be coming again soon.
I want to come again soon, yeah.
No.
That's right.
No.
I'm getting downright coastal.
Seriously, man. Going
You's
fucking...
a traveling nigga. Actually, Kraken does more traveling than I do, man. Shit.
She does, man. You barely, you wouldn't leave Vegas if you were almost forced to leave Vegas this time. It's like, all right, don't go.
Yeah, Maxwell got all fussy about the cardboard box he lives in. He was like, well, what if something happens? What if kids are going to steal my cardboard box?
Seriously, man. Hey,
Or
listen.
my Freon.
Yeah, exactly. Not anymore.
Hey, better not tell them I got brand new Freon. They better not fuck with my new Freon I've gotten.
Maxwell's ideas about theft are fucking dated back to the 40s. Like, what are those kids gonna do? They're gonna steal my shiny new capacitor.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. When they're like dipping into his credit card by looking at his fucking cell phone, you know.
Yeah, his flip phone.
His flip phone. Yeah. Technology.
Hey,
Actually,
now,
that's probably
goddamn
good
it.
though, because fucking some crazy. That's a story. That's a ma dude for you. I got a
You
ma.
got a ma
We have to
starting
do
it
a
off
small
with?
ma. You know what? Let's just start off with the. We always start off. Let's start off with the. Let's do a random rant start, and then maybe if we get to the ma, we'll do that. So
Mine has some ma-ish stuff to it, too. So, yeah, let's roll
okay.
with it.
Well, let's start with and since we have a guest this evening, we will start with the random rants of the week for this week, starting with Kraken. Kraken, you have a random rant this week. What exactly is ticking you off this week?
Well, let me tell you, Patton. No. Honestly, I've been thinking about this for the last couple of weeks, and it's been really pissing me off. Just the self-destructive nature of it. New Year's resolutions, okay? Like the most toxic, annoying fucking thing I have to hear at the beginning of every new year. All right, just watching people tell you their greatest aspirations and setting themselves up for failure. It's beautiful, really, in its poetic destruction, but at the same time, it's ultimately infuriating in its nature. I was talking with my manager the other day at whatever fucking place I work at, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna lose weight this year, and I'm gonna find myself a lady, and it's gonna get great, and this is my New Year's resolution, and like for me, I attribute New Year's resolutions to like tattooing the name of your boyfriend or girlfriend on your ass cheek. You're just setting yourself up to fail, like it's a curse, it's a plague beset upon you.
Well, we talked about this before, but my theory on these things is it's a way to assuage your guilt for not doing what you were supposed to. It's almost like when you do a New Year's resolution, you're almost like making up for the fact that you didn't meet your New Year's resolution of last year or your goals. You're not successful in some way. So one way to make you feel better, so you can continue to do what you're doing until the next year, is to make a New Year's resolution. Like I'm gonna be better next year, but it's still it's still 2015, so it's December 27th. That's not till the first.
Yeah, and I told you about, I had a roommate that was like, I'm gonna quit smoking, and he was like, so of course New Year's Eve he's fucking powering down on the cigarettes, and then of course New Year's Day that lasted a whole of like 5 hours before he went and bought cigarettes again.
Well, it's like an endorphin rush. Like I'm gonna do it in next year. I'm gonna do it. It's easy to do. It's easy to say, and it makes you feel good, like you've accomplished it for a little bit.
Well, exactly, and that's the whole point of it. You ever been up at 3 a.m. and all of a sudden you just get that surge of inspiration? You're like, you know what? Tomorrow everything's going to be different. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to work out. I'm going to have a smoothie for breakfast. Like, I'm going to be productive, and things are going to change. Shit. And you get that good feeling deep down your chest, like, oh, it's almost masturbatory. It's like, yeah, I'm going to be a good person tomorrow. And you go to bed, you lay down, you're going to sleep easy. You're like, oh, man, everything's going to work out wonderfully. And you wake up the next day, it's fucking 1 in the afternoon, and you're like, shit, all right, back to the old grind again.
Mm-hmm. You know? And you don't do it, you say, well, I'll do it tomorrow, because I did say I would do it this year, and there's still 364 days, you know, whatever.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. It's the same. It's like it's made because for some reason you feel guilty about what you do, whether it's society telling you that you do, or whether it's your mind. You know, like, oh well, I shouldn't eat this fucking Oreo. So in order to make myself feel better now, and to stop that shame, I'm going to say, you know what? I'm eating this Oreo now, but I won't in 3 hours or 3 days, or I'm going to make because it's a Band-Aid over what you're doing, you know.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. No, people love to monologue their optimism when they're able to like express their mistakes and their changes. They feel like they're actively performing the change themselves, when in reality they're just talking about superfluous shit. You know, I have goals that I set a couple months ago. It's not my New Year's resolution. Fuck that shit. I won't do it. I refuse. I have goals, and I worked on them before New Year's got even close. They have nothing to do with New Year's. I'm not associating it with New Year's at all. I'm just living in the present and focusing on those goals one day at a time, you know. And instead, you know, like, I think people they desperately need to find that boost they crave so badly at the beginning of the new year. Like, oh, it was so shitty, I made so many mistakes, but now it's gonna be different. Somehow, some way, it's gonna change, you know. And it's bullshit.
Yeah. And so that whole, you know, it's the new. This is gonna be my year. You know how you know, I've done that before, where I'm like, yeah, man, 2016's gonna be a better year, and you make up this whole bunch of bullshit in your mind, and it's just like, well, what the fuck's the point of that?
Yeah, and you compartmentalize. And one of the reasons you do it is because it's much easier to think that than it is to do it. Dreaming is pretty easy, you know, to do. You know, that's why, you know. That's the thing. Oh, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and I can't wait. And you think about all these things that are gonna happen because it's fun to think about, and like it's a chemical reaction. So it's basically a Band-Aid to make you feel good now, so that you don't have to actually do it, you know, later on. And sometimes people do. Like, in my experience though is that shit that makes you feel really bad is what makes you change your fucking behavior.
Well, that's it. It's the bad shit that makes you change your behaviors. You know, not the good things of, oh, yeah, like Kraken was talking about. You know, I was laughing my ass off. The 3 in the morning analogy is perfect because I've done that. I've been that dude where I'm like, yeah, it's 3 in the morning, but, you know, I only got a few more hours and I'll be up, man, and I'm going to get on the treadmill and do a little exercise, and then I'm going to fucking call some people I haven't called in a while. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's just funny. Honestly, excessive optimism is one of the worst drugs I've ever seen. All right, and it's so easy to do to yourself, you know. And I think New Year's is the biggest. It's the biggest criminal here, you know, because it's this huge sinkhole that basically sets you up to make the same self-destructive decisions you make every year. And what people really don't want to accept or don't want to have to face is that change is a very slow, gradual, and difficult process that requires baby steps every day. And guess what? You know what happens if you make a mistake? You don't quit and say, oh shit, well, I'll try again later, I guess. No, the very next day you go back to it and you keep working on it, because that's how things change.
Or you make reasonable goals for yourself, like
or if you want to change. Sometimes too, it's just some bullshit. It's like you said, mental masturbation. So, do you really want to change, or are you just doing it to, you know, to sound good to your friends? You know, well, I'm gonna quit fucking smoking, or I'm gonna try to exercise, or something.
I think it's both. I think it's also the fact that a lot of times that shit is hard to, because it's a habit. It's all about habits, and people don't realize that they're actually habits that they're in. Like drinking and smoking are habits. Like you get used to doing it. And so the trick is not to, like, most people try to do the cold turkey shit, which doesn't work. But you need to, but I mean, if you're gonna make change, the ball, okay, it's like a ball rolling down a hill. I've always talked about momentum. It's like you have to get the ball started, and that's the hardest part, is always pushing that ball first to get it to the edge of the hill, and then it slowly starts rolling down the hill, and you have to keep it going. You can't just, like, you know, because there's always those
you know.
Well, people expect to take a baseball bat and knock the ball out of the park. That's what they believe.
Yeah, and it's like the get rich quick scheme too, you know. And then they get frustrated, like, oh, well, it's been 10 days and I haven't eaten badly in 10 days and I've only lost a pound. Well, this must not be working.
Well, see that, and that's just it. It's
Yeah.
hilarious because we all like to believe we're in this grand fairy tale that like great sweeping changes happen in a single instant moment. And you know what? Once in a very rare while, they do. You know, sometimes your life can transform in an instant, but not the way you want it to, and not in the way you're going to expect. You know, and weight loss is the greatest example. People are always talking about weight loss. You know, and I think it's hilarious. These like people who are severely overweight are like, yeah, you know, this super diet, I'm going to lose 100 pounds and stuff. Because what they don't want to accept is that to lose the weight, they have to make a lifestyle change. It's not
Yeah.
a diet,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
It's a change. It's a change of habit. All right. It's portion control and all that stuff that they don't want to accept because they don't want to change that lifestyle. They want to find a way to lose all those pounds and still be able to going back to binge eating pizza.
Exactly.
And fucking malt
What they
liquor.
want to do.
Well,
Yeah.
that's it. As soon as they drop a couple pounds, and they're like, "Well, fuck it, man. I can go back."
Yeah,
and eat
this
the
is
same
my
shit."
reward, and so they do it, and then what happens is, and yeah, go ahead, Ben. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that was it. It's just like he was just saying. Once they've lost, say 10 pounds or something, they're like, "Oh, fuck it. All right, now I can go back and eat chocolate and pizza and all the shit I
Yeah,
used
this
to
is
eat
my
before."
reward. See, what you got to do is you got to realize that sometimes it's okay to have pizza. But see, what the problem is, these people, a lot of these people, and I've done it myself. You make that grandiose. I'm going to stop cold turkey. I'm going to stop. So then, when you do go back and say, you know what, then the next day you're like, oh, I feel like crap, man. I fucking shouldn't have done it. I told myself I was never going to do it. So fuck. And then they feel bad about themselves. You feel terrible about yourself. So it's almost like a self-defeating prophecy because once you do break the oath you made or whatever for New Year's or for whatever day it is, you the self-loathing and the beating yourself up makes you say, oh well, fuck it, like whatever, So it's a combination of things.
Yeah,
and so it's
definitely.
definitely part of it. And
Well,
so
there's a falsehood, to some of these diets. Like you start thinking, I feel better, and you'll like start lying to yourself, even though you hate eating carrots and celery and shit.
Well, because you know what it is it's fear, all right? They're scared of losing something that makes them feel good. They feel like if they have to change their lifestyle and eat healthier, that they're never going to be able to have cake again, or they're never going to be able to enjoy again. Because what it is food is for them, and just like for any habit, not just weight loss, but for weight loss, food is the safety net. It's the comfort, all right? It's the reassurance that hey, you have a shitty day at work, you know everything's going wrong in life, but at least this pint of Ben and Jerry's is for you. But if you try and lose weight and you realize you might have to change your lifestyle, that pint of Ben & Jerry's isn't going to be there for you every single time you have a mental breakdown. And God, wouldn't that just be a horrible fucking thing to deal with,
And it becomes a like I've learned over the last couple of months that it's not about like, because some people say like certain things are about like going cold turkey, being afraid of it, being afraid of that, and that works for some people. Some people are afraid of their habits, like I can't do it. I can't go into a grocery store because if I do, then there's cake there, and then if there's cake there, or if there's beer there, or whatever, or cigarettes there, you're like, oh well, I might get that, and that's where and that works for some people, but that does not work for a lot of people, and that shouldn't work for because I've noticed, like I've had my issues with drinking too many nights of the week, it's just something I've done, but I've realized over the last couple of months, well, Christmas kind of like obviously the whole month was, actually it was pretty good actually, honestly, during certain times, but I've noticed that it's just a matter of just moderation, just like. Shit, don't be hard on yourself. You want to have a couple beers and enjoy yourself when anything, do it. You want to have a couple beers and enjoy yourself 3 evenings in a row? No. Just
But this
stop
whole
and just
I've quit and I can't touch it at all kind of bullshit.
Because the problem is you get in the pattern, and the pattern is what makes it hard to get out of the pattern. Once you're out of the pattern, you realize you can break it, and you start breaking it more and more. Like you start taking a week or two off, and then have a night where you have some fun, and then the next night you feel, oh well. No, you don't do it for another 6 or 7 days. And then you go, well, that wasn't that hard. And so the next time you have to do it, it's not that hard. It's a gradual, it's almost like exercising. You don't fucking lift 500 pounds at once. Right. You fucking slowly lift the weight you can, you handle what you can, and slowly but surely you pull away from your fear and addiction and your bullshit. It's a slow process. And no, it does not always require help from an outside source. And no, it doesn't. And now, does that work for some people? Yes. And it's like, that's what we're really talking about. We're talking about addiction and habit. We're talking about bad habits like food. I need a counselor. Not necessarily. Yeah. It might help you, but it's not a one and gun. You got to learn how to handle your own life and your own. Because me, I get resentful. I guarantee you. I go to some counselor and I'd try talking to him like, I don't need this shit. And I know it, because I know myself. I know how I feel about other people, because I've known enough people in psychology to know that they don't fucking know shit most of the time. And they're good at listening, and sometimes they might be good at listening, but for me, it wouldn't work for me. But I guess my point is that whatever works for you, it's a gradual thing. It's not going to be hit and run. It's not going to be like winning the lottery and everything's going to change. It's not simple. Usually.
Exactly.
Well, it's that whole, when I remember, hell, Sluggo used to do that. Well, once I get online, this will start happening. And they have all these expectations of once this happens, it'll make everything better. And it's like, no, it ain't going to work that way. You got to sort of work up to it.
And ultimately, that's just what I wanted to express about it. When it comes to New Year's resolutions, folks, here's the thing, okay? All right? If you want to make a change in your life, don't make a special occasion around it. Don't make a big ceremony for it, because you're setting yourself up for failure and for disappointment. All right? You want to make a change? Start on the most mundane time you can think about. Don't plan ahead. Just start. Just do it and work towards it. And you know what? You'll make progress one way or another in that department. But yeah, don't wear a party hat and fucking dance around in one late night evening just because fucking the clock is changing. It's not going to transform your life.
And also
wise words from the Kraken.
Here's another wise words. Also, regardless of when you start this, shut the fuck up and stop telling other people you're going to do it. Because after a while, when they give you that look, that like when they kind of squint their eyes or have that grimace on their face like they're smelling a bad fart, realize that you've been saying this shit for years, and all you're doing is making them go, yeah, we know why you're saying this. It's not because you want to do this. It's because you want to feel better and make yourself feel better about what you're doing now, because you don't want the other person to judge you about what you're doing too, because that's part of it too. I'm going to do this. Please don't think ill of me for having this beer now, because I'm going to stop having this beer in 2 days, and I'm going to stop eating this food in 2 days. And you're like, yeah, you said that, last year, the year before, the year before that.
They want that reinforcement, though. They want that, hey, that's a good idea, buddy. Right on.
Yeah, you're right on. Yeah, I know you are. Let's do it. You can do it. No, when they get quiet, that's when you go, oh, I've said this too much. So think about that.
When they're not saying anything, that's when you know you're full of shit.
Absolutely. So
when the whole room gets quiet.
Yep. So let's so now you Max had another rant that you wanted to.
I have a random. Okay. Now this one, you guys might jump on my shit for this, dude, because this is especially cruise control for what you do, with the kind of work you do. Mm-hmm. It's kind of sort of around that a little bit.
Oh, boy.
Basically, all right. Now here's the deal. I wanted to get Microsoft Word for this computer because I had an old version on here that it was so old it stopped working. You know what I'm saying? So I took it off. I was like, okay, fuck this. So now I kind of need it again for some stuff. And so the other night, I'm like, well, fuck it. You know what? I'm going to just go ahead and maybe I'll just buy the program, So I go online, I go to Microsoft.com, and I find Microsoft, and there was a bunch of bundle bullshit on there too, like, get PowerPoint, Excel, Outlook. And I'm like, I don't need all those. I just need Word. So eventually I found Microsoft Word 2016. I'm like, all right, cool. So I buy it and everything, and that's a whole hoop jumping ass ram to it in itself, where I had to create an account and everything.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I do all that stuff, and finally I buy it, and so it says, to start your download, click install. So I do this, and it's, asked me, do I want to run it or save it? And so I click run, and then it just sits there. I'm like, well, okay, what the fuck next? So I'm tabbing in there, I'm arrowing. It's not telling me anything. It's just sitting there. And it just gives me I do an alt tab, to kind of go out of it and go back into it. And it says, please give us a moment. We're installing your Office. And I'm like, okay. Well, this was going on for like 20 or 30 minutes. So I'm like, oh, fuck. All right. So I call the number because they email me my receipt and everything. I call this phone number, and there's another hoop jumping ass ram, where I press 3 for technical support, press 2 for refunds, do that. So finally I hit 3 for technical support, and then my favorite thing happens, where it says, please tell us the nature of your problem in a few words. And I'm just like, fuck. So I'm like, then it wants to know what device you're calling about. Is it a Windows phone? Is it a tablet? So I'm like, a PC. So eventually they put me through to this. It's a voicemail, and it says that they're closed. This is 8 o'clock on a Friday night. And they said their business hours are from like 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday Pacific time. So I'm like, okay, great. Now it's a whole weekend that I can't call these fucks. So I said, fuck this. You know what? I heard refunds on there. Let me just see if I can. So sure enough, I call back and I hit 2 for refunds. And guess what? Someone answers. So I'm like, and I explained the situation. And the guy was just like, well, sir, you don't want to wait till tomorrow? To just call them up and see if they can help you? And I'm like, well, actually, they're not open again until Monday from what their recording said. And he's like, oh, I see. I said, so yeah, if I can't use this now, I want my money back. Fuck it. So they did refund my money back. But I mean, it's just like, if you get these, and I've had this happen before, like with ESET, which was an antivirus software. And, same bullshit, it gets stuck or it gets fucked up and then you got to call them and their technical support's closed. I think with online, especially with online products, they should have 24-hour technical fucking support, because you don't know who's buying at what time and where they're at. And,
well, a couple things, and I'll tell you exactly why you're wrong in this way. They should. Now, Microsoft should. Because Microsoft is a multi-billion-dollar. Now, this other place, not every company can have 24-hour technical support. Because they don't have the money to be able to support. It's pretty, and plus 24 hours. That you're thinking that's. I mean, with Microsoft, I think that's definitely something that they can do now. But one thing I have to say before anything else: you waited a certain time. You have no idea how long this thing takes to install. You have no idea what it's doing to install, but you assume it's going to install because you know why. Because why?
It should tell me. It should say. It should give me a percentage. Usually most programs when they're installing. It counts it in. 12%.
So it didn't even give you a percent. Now, that was because of, I wonder if it was, but, well, it should say 12%. At least it does that. So it wasn't doing anything. It just was just sitting there?
Just sitting there, yeah. I was like, okay. And now maybe someone who could have seen that. But, I mean, hey, what if you're here alone, like I was, and, you're going, okay, well, what's going on here? Is something happening, or is it just sitting there?
Okay.
So
well, then you need someone to help you, okay? Obviously, Maxwell. My goodness,
Maxwell,
okay?
right.
Oh, yeah. Get some sighting assistance that I don't have.
That's right. Okay, listen, no one expects you to do everything by yourself, okay, buddy? It's all right, all right? There is always assistance for you.
Well, that's true. Hey,
people are so charitable.
Hey, wait a second. Hey, listen. If you have friends, people will come over and they will. You just got to call. You just got to reach out. One thing I want to ask though is, how did you know? I mean, when it was, how did you know you even installing the fucking thing? Well, wait, did it?
Well, it said, because when I did my Alt Tab, it said something setup, and then it goes, please wait 1 moment. We are installing your Office.
Okay.
So, and I was doing this I gave it a good, like I said, 20 or 30 minutes because I thought, like you were saying, maybe it takes a while. Maybe it just needs a little kick in the nuts, something like that.
I bet it was downloading and installing while you were doing it. How did you stop it? You just stopped the program, or?
I just closed it out. I just did an Alt F4, and that's when I checked my email, and I was like, look, I don't know what's going, because I thought, well, maybe somebody could remote in and see what the hell was happening. So at least tell me, oh yeah, it is installing. It's just not telling you something,
Yeah, you know
but
what?
Hey,
you should avoid all remote ins as much as possible. But yeah.
Well, I know with like JAWS, I have them do that. Matter of fact, with my open book, I had them do that the other day too. Remember when it was doing its weird shit? Because sometimes, dude, there's some stuff that's a little too, too involved for me.
A little two-sided McSidey for you.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes I need some sighting assistance.
So you were thinking we'd be upset with you because you just automatically refunded it, right?
Right, like that I was like being impatient and being well, I want my money back then. Fuck you, or something. But I see that's not the case.
What do you think? What do you think? Kraken.
I mean, ultimately, I don't know. I think that when it comes to technology and like why we should have support and all that shit, it's hard to say. It depends on the program, and I'm gonna give a very generalized answer. It depends.
I guess it does, but I could see both ways because you didn't really know what was going on. But that's not necessarily. It's because maybe the screen reader wasn't reading what was going on. Because what I probably think, do you ever get those Windows updates that update your Windows?
The updates, yeah, it'll prompt me. Do you want to install it?
Does it tell you like what percentage it's on?
Usually it does. It'll say 5%, 10%. It'll kind of count it down as it's.
Because I'm wondering if the install was actually because it had to download the program at some point and then install it.
Right.
Usually Microsoft programs are fucking slow when they're trying to install.
Is that what that is? Well, because, see, that's the thing, too. Like, there was no... I thought maybe I had a tab to... Sometimes, you know, when you're installing something, it wants you to click Next, or it wants you to click Install, or I agree, or some weird shit. And when I was tabbing through there was nothing. I'm just like, well, you know, what the fuck is this shit? So, yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, just... it's kind of a pain in the ass, too, with, you know... I guess my whole rant about this whole thing is... On one hand, we want things lickety-split, and it's the age of technology and on demand, and you can get it fast. But what they don't tell you is sometimes there's a lot of hoop jumping and ass ramming, more so than there would be, you know, in the old way, so to speak. You know what I mean?
will say this. I will say this. If I have an opinion about any of this, is that we are in the year 2016. All right, there are plenty of people who have no vision or have severe vision issues. There's no reason why we can't reasonably accommodate them technology-wise with a computer and making sure they're able to do everything functionally as well as a sighted person can. We need to put more funding into that. Absolutely.
What they what they actually need, and this is what someone needs to do, is they need to design an operating system, or at least, I mean, they're getting better at it. At least try to design some kind of operating system from the ground up that's compatible with Windows. It's kind of hard to do, but that actually is made for those who use screen readers. I mean, they're getting better with Windows 10. It is actually a lot better, and now they're doing the voice-activated shit where you go, you know, go to movies, and it goes to your movies and shit, which is cool. But you're right. There should be some dedicated somewhere just doing more. I mean, they got these programs that are funded. I guess they're just kind of like half-assing it. Like,
so you think it's more of a blind situation as opposed to, you know, just a...
I don't think it's a blind situation. I think it's a lack of resources available to any handicap at this point. Because honestly, who wants 24 hours technical assistance? No one fucking wants 24 hours technical assistance. What we want is to be enabled to perform functionally independent. You know, on whatever.
Well, I would have rather not have called for technical support.
Yeah, Maxwell. There's no reason for you to have to call technical support unless there's a bug or an error of some kind. All right. What it should do is it should function well enough for you to use it. All right, there's no reason it shouldn't.
Yeah,
pretty much. I mean, there's no reason
I don't know why it got hung up like that. It was just like, but I guess what I'm saying is, here it was. I tried to do cool. You know, I don't have to wait for somebody to take me to Best Buy so I can buy a copy of Microsoft Word. You know, I'll just go download it right here, install it, and hey, all problems are solved. But then obviously I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, start working, motherfucker. And it's just like, I guess that's my whole beef with, you know, putting shit out that doesn't work. You know, like, test these things before you put them out, man, you know, if you can.
Well, you don't even need to buy it. You can actually find something called Open Office, which is an open source program that reads Microsoft documents. It's actually just as good. It's free.
Actually, well, one of the things I was going to use it for is the copying and pasting, like with, you know, with your descriptions on your videos and shit. So I can start doing it to mine, too, you know?
No, you could do that with Notepad, too, if you can bring that up. If you know how to do Notepad, there's a thing called Notepad you can pop it to.
Yeah, there's free ways to do everything on the internet as opposed to the paid ways. You should know, Maxwell, with the severe amount of foot pornography you have on your computer, which is probably actually why your programs are running so slowly and not moving, because there's probably malware swimming through your system.
Actually, no. I just updated its memory and everything, man. I'm good. I'm rolling.
You updated its memory and everything. You said you had a guy come over, all right? And who knows how technologically certified this guy that came over, all right? I'm sure you have family members that come over and go, all right, Maxwell, I got it all hooked up, and they fucking, like, downloaded all kinds of unknown crap.
Oh, no, this guy's he's a computer guy. That's what he does.
I'm just saying, I've seen your computer, Maxwell, and let me say, the guys you have help you out are nice, but they're not as proficient as you think.
I don't know, man. I think you're being a little hard on him, man. I think my computer runs just
hard
fine.
on them necessarily, just saying that there are simpler ways to do things, but I digress.
Speaking of being hard on somebody,
all right,
we might be hard on somebody, but we're going to do first. It's I guess we could do this together. It's fuck you niggas and good luck you niggas. As we like to call it, fun glun, for those who are offended by us whiteys using the word niggas, even though we're talking about
dudes. You guys want to jump into
chicks.
that now, huh?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's get one of them now because we're already 30 minutes in here. So,
all right.
Control. It is not offensive. We're saying nigga with an A. Okay?
Yeah, we're saying it correctly.
That is the politically.
That is the way we are allowed to say that word because of our skin color, which is awesome, great, because we are allowed to do things. We aren't allowed to do things because of our skin color, which is so funny, but that's one of the things we're allowed. We're allowed to use it, so I'm really happy about that, guys. I hope you guys are too, because I am definitely...
Now, cruise control. Rap lives matter. I mean, black lives. I mean, goddamn.
Oh, you're absolutely right. So now we have 2 here.
Yes.
That we can actually use. Now, I don't know what you remember the names of the artists?
Actually, you know what? The one, Turn You Around, that's by Jeremy Menifee, which is interesting, dude. He classifies his stuff as country, but to me, the track sounds like something like a pop ballad.
Okay, so do you want to do that first, or do you want to do I have the other one, which is the BTK?
Let's do Turn You Around.
Okay,
first.
so we're going to do Turn You Around. Now, Max has cheated a little bit and has heard this one before, but
yeah.
Kraken and I have never heard this song before. Now, so if you're listening to this and you made this and you want us to love it, we might not. So thank you we've told you that before. We warned you. So
hey, we'll be nice enough, I guess.
I'm never really that mean.
Good luck, Jeremy.
Yeah, I'm never. Yeah, good luck, Jeremy. So here we go. This is called Turn You Around.
All right, here we go. Let's see. Crank it up a bit.
Country?
Yeah.
Country?
Not really country, is it?
What is the hood we're in? Fucking what? This Nashville hood or something? Someone's using a cell phone on this song.
Sounds like he's recording in his garage.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Did he say endless boner? Did he say endless boner? Is that what he said?
Endless boner?
Yeah. Hold on, wait. I want to go back for a second. Yeah, wait a second. Yeah, hold on. I think he said endless boner. Hold on. Let me.
Yeah, but you're right. It is not. It doesn't sound like country.
Dude,
to me.
it sounds like he's
country. What part of country in there? Like, is the country in the IQ of the singer? I mean.
Okay, yeah. Let's.
Wow.
Let's. Okay, you're gonna be not. All right, you're only on the show one time. Hold on. Let's see. Let's try this. I'm gonna see endless boner. Hold on. Let me see.
All right.
Did I miss it, or is it? Let's see.
I don't think...
Oh, here we go. Endless boner. It says endless boner.
That's what it sounds like he says.
It sounds like he says endless boner. I was not wrong on that, was I?
I'll
No.
have to ask him what he says.
Endless boner. That's great though. If that line is actually, it's not. But if it were, it raise this song 2 points. From like a 2 to a 4 out of 10.
Oh my goodness! Wow, that's poetic, man. That's eternal love right there.
This guy, I'm sorry. There's the song. It's just so. It sounds like if a zombie movie had a R&B soundtrack.
Wow. I kind of dig it a little bit, but I guess that's me.
Now, it sounds like a stoner that got woken up mid-nap and had to suddenly serenade himself.
Yeah, exactly. Baby,
right.
sorry.
He sounds half awake, right?
Hand me my bong and my rock star, 'cause I need to wake up in the morning.
Ain't my Pop-Tarts.
Hey, but it's catchy though. You see, you guys are even singing the melody.
No, it's not catchy. I'm sorry. It's completely monochrome to me. It's not very catchy to me.
Not feeling it, huh?
Okay. To be fair, it's not the worst rap song I've ever heard. I mean, I'd say it's a solid 4 out of 10.
It's definitely not country, but for me, it's pretty basic. It's pretty basic, and the reason I think so is because there's no change up in the chorus and the verse.
It's about as country as the upcoming presidential debate is political.
I mean, listen to how.
I'll agree with you on that. I don't feel that it's a very countryish track at all. I think it's more pop.
Yeah, it's not even country. There's no country in it at all. I don't see any country in it. It's definitely R&B, like basic pop R&B to me.
Yeah, there's no fields of strawberries. There's no young fucking white girl. There's no pickup truck and broke up dad or anything like that.
It all depends on what your idea of music is, obviously. But mine is the chorus and the verse sound pretty much the same. It's the same. Da 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 da.
See, for me, it's grown on me. I dig it a little bit, but that's just me, man. I'm kind of digging it.
See, I don't know. I don't dig it. Definitely 4 out of 10 to me. I think would be the total for it. But Endless Boner, man.
Endless Boner raised him a little bit, huh?
Endless Boner brought it from a 3 to a 4 in my opinion. Yeah, that was hilarious. But other than that, honestly, it's flat. There's no vibrato to it. All right, it's seriously just he's trying to go high, but he's not getting anywhere.
And I'm going to tell you why you didn't catch that, because it's so monotone that you are actually not listening to what he is saying at all.
No, you're right.
So if it was a good pop song, you would be listening to what he was saying as well as because there are lyrics to this, and it's just basically and it's salmon. That's you can make it like endless boner and a penis sandwich.
That's the fun that managed to spontaneously create itself out of our brains trying to listen to this.
Yeah, and we could actually start making our own shit to the same melody then. I guess,
something boner.
I'm pulling out my cock, oh bitch.
I'm gonna call this stoner melody because it just feels just so perfectly so.
And if a chorus is going to be that similar to the verse, it has to emphasize the verse. It has to make the verse be more meaningful, and that there is no real distinction. If you play this song, let's see, let's just do this. Here's an example of what I'm talking about with this song. Okay. This is what I'm gonna do. So it's going on. Here's the song, right?
All right.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start popping different parts of the song. End of the song.
Yeah, it's all the same.
That's true. There's no real change up to it, is
There's
it?
nothing. It's the same song.
Yeah.
It's flat.
The only way you're gonna tell the difference between this and the end is because there's another layered voice on it. That's
right. That's got ad-libs on it.
Which you honestly can't really notice in the first place. I didn't notice that until you said it, Chris.
Yeah. So basically what I'm seeing on this is, and also the one thing I do like about the song is I like that. There's a couple of grooving stuff in it.
It is catchy, man. It has potential. I'm telling you.
The beat in which it is sung to is not bad. That's for sure.
I mean, we could make up a rap to it and be like, like, here we go. This next gonna segue. Here we go. Yeah, let me tell you something. Yeah. Maxwell Silverhammer inhales his food. He's a goddamn heartened dude, but he wasn't always like that. Cause when he was young, he used to wait and savor that food sitting on his tongue. But then, in first grade, someone said to him that he was being bad. He'd have to clean up the lunchroom, motherfucker, if he didn't eat real fast. So then the adults started trying to tell him how to live, telling him how to eat. So now, when he gets that food, he just inhales that meat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this is called it's called the shrink wrap, baby. Which is our next segment of this. It's called the shrink wrap.
You want to save the next fuck you niggas, good luck you niggas?
Yes, we will. For a little bit longer, and we'll do that. We might even do it next week. But that actually leads me into the shrink wrap. It's shrink wrap, which is our new segment. And this is where I psychoanalyze you. And I kind of went into it in the rap there for a second.
Yes, you did.
Because it makes me think, because you were talking about this, about how...
first, funny enough, I was ripping on people with the whole diet thing for New Year's. You know, kind of like what we just talked about.
Yeah, let me explain where this is coming from and how this is a brief story about this. On Facebook, Maxwell posted something that basically said, basically what it said was what he said, what it said. The post said, when I was younger and when I ate, basically when I was younger, I used to eat really slow. and when I was a little kid. But in
well, actually, mate, you were ripping on me.
Yeah,
you were
that's
like,
exactly
well,
because I said, yeah, you can also chew your food because you're talking about your New Year's resolution. I said you can also someone can also start chewing their food before they swallow it. And then you made a comment about how in first grade or when you're a kid, you used to not eat fast at all. People used to tell you ate really slow.
Yeah.
So here's my shrink wrap for you. And this kind of goes up, this is basically where this is coming from. And I was like, oh, this is obvious where it came from. Because right now you inhale food. You literally shove shit in your mouth.
Oh, fuck yeah.
You shove it in your face. And so here's my like journey, how the journey went for you. And I think you guys can connect the dots how this is going to go. But this is why you're this way now. Think about this. In first grade, you're sitting trying to eat. People are telling you, and you said this is more than just the guy, the janitor, basically.
Yeah, well, there was even kids that would be like, "Well, you eat slow."
Yeah,
you
so
know?
everyone's telling you eat slow, and so people, and then you're getting threatened, like if you don't eat faster, you're gonna have to clean up the lunchroom. And you're like, "Oh, go no, I got to clean up the lunchroom." Oh, so as a kid, you're like, a little kid, you're like, "Oh my God, you're gonna make me mop the floor, you're gonna make me clean the table. I can't play with my queen." So you're like, "Oh God!" So you start shoveling food in your face, and you start getting that as a habit that you start doing. And then as you get older, you keep doing that because people are like, "Oh well," and then they start making comments. "Wow, you suck that food up, man. Good dog, you're a man." Probably, because you had that, So maybe it kind of reinforced that a little bit.
It's a positive reinforcement.
So then you keep going, and so you start eating faster, and then so it becomes a habit. And then of course, junior high, what happens? Junior high at lunchtime. You don't want to eat. You want to spend all your time hanging out with your friends, or not, not bothering to eat, right?
No, but I still would eat. Trust me.
Of course, but you would eat, but you eat fast, and so it reinforced that even more when you were in high school and junior high to eat fast.
Because we get done quick.
Because think about this. Think about when we went to even when we went in high school, went to Jack in the Crack, down the street.
Oh, yeah.
We'd have to get out, get there, eat, and get back, and we would still want time to be able to relax when we got back for a few minutes, right?
Right.
So we would get down there, fucking, it's like fucking power, and so it just reinforced it throughout your life. So now eating slow, it's like I can't eat slow because it's for some reason. But that's where it started. That's where the inhaling machine that you are, Maxwell, started.
Yeah. Oh, I will totally agree with you on that one, dude. I've even sort of basically found the root of why.
Exactly. So that's what we both found. It's like, oh, well, that's what happened. And it's kind of funny that something like that can change you fundamentally in a certain way.
Sure. Well, that's why teachers and they have an effect on kids with shit they say and things they do and all kinds of stuff, man. So it's not one of these things that's going to bounce off and you'll forget it 10 minutes later. Like a lot of adults think about kids. You might internalize this shit. And it may become the building blocks for your later behaviors. You know what I mean?
See, because I never knew that. Because we were thinking about that, and I never knew that happened when you were that young. That you thought that people kept commenting on it and making comments about it.
Well, here's the thing. Because the girl, remember, had made the comment about, oh, well, I do it to rebel, and people used to tell me I'm getting too fat, and I need to change my diet, and blah, blah, blah. And I kind of thought about it, and I was like, you know what? There was a point when I was in school. And like I said, the one that really stuck out was the custodian. He used to say, "Man, why you eating so slow? You gonna be in here? You gonna help me clean up? You the last one out." That kind of thing.
Well, also probably didn't help that you're a young kid and the creepy janitor's going, "Hey there, boy, you gonna eat all your food?
You gonna hang out with
Mr.
me?"
Janitor."
And you're probably right. Yeah, here it was, this old black janitor.
Yeah, come
going,
on. Yeah, I'm gonna show
"Come
you
here,
the
little
transcript."
first grade boy.
He's like, old black janitor, come on, you gonna be hanging out here in the cleanings with me.
You gonna be my little nigga boy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
my
better.
name's Ricky. You like Ricky? Come here. Ricky gonna show you why he like you.
Actually, his name was Vernon, so I'm Vernon, and I'm gonna start burning and turning.
You need to shovel that food in your stomach so you can make it bigger, so you can fit more in there later on.
Meanwhile, Vernon gonna show you, here, grab my mop. It's kind of wet.
Vernon gonna be making your butthole burning.
Yeah, and your stomach won't be churning when you're done hanging with Vernon.
So yeah, that's you guys are 100% on that, man. That's and I even kind of self-diagnosed that shit.
Yeah, it's just kind of scary in a way that. Like, it's not scary. It's amazing in a way that just like you didn't know about that because we've talked about this for years, and you finally went, wait a second, I do remember now, right?
Well, it's kind of always been at the back of my mind, but when that was brought up, I was like, well, there was a situation when I was in school, or several situations where people used to comment on how slow I ate.
But it was the scary black janitor who pushed you over the edge.
Yeah. It was him, man.
You better eat that tapioca pudding, motherfucker.
Actually, you know what? He was always cool to me, but it was just the way he would say it. Like, it's almost like I wanted his approval. Like, oh, okay, I'll try to eat faster so you can get to work and so you can do what you need to do.
You wanted black people's approval for a long time, Maxwell.
Oh.
Come on, be sick. We know what's up,
sorry,
dude.
Cruise control's pretty right on that one.
How do you know this?
Wearing the sunglasses and the be sick.
How do I know this? Excuse me. Like you act like one, you walk like one, you talk like one. First of all, I'm talking stereotype. Like you herald the stereotype of black people. Like it's on a fucking idol. Like
I walk like a black dude. I don't even.
Oh, dude, like every time you see something, you were like, oh, nigga, oh, nigga.
And then, fuck you, niggas, good luck, you
niggas.
niggas.
The ratchet too.
Yeah. Oh, nigga. Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
oh,
you don't even go.
That's
You don't even say
excited,
regular like, oh, no, you gotta give it some ratchet. You're like, oh, nigga. You get that slang going.
Yeah.
Well, part of it's just me, being funny. Like
part of it, but also it's part of it, dude. You've always been, and that's nothing wrong. You've always been influenced by that since you were fucking little. Come on, cruising down the street in my GTO. Come on,
right?
now.
Okay, all right. But,
so maybe that was the start. Maybe he caused you to shovel food in your face and get into rap music and maybe Vernon was the.
You need to find him, okay? Because this Vernon sounds like a father figure. All right, you need to go thank him for everything.
He's probably dead by now, dude.
Dude, you need to go pour a 40 on his grave, dude.
Wait, now Cruise Control, you probably don't remember this guy. I don't know. He was at Ruth Fife, though, man.
I might have. I don't know. I didn't. Yeah, I was. I remember the lunch lady who used to always say took food out of the garbage can.
Oh, that was Mrs. Bandel.
Yeah,
They
Mrs.
used to take
Bandel.
stuff out of the trash can and be like, anybody want a bologna sandwich?
And we're like, yeah. So we'd always say she would eat the food, eat the bologna sandwich herself. Like she'd eat. It's like someone saw her eat food out of the garbage. Like.
See, I hear stuff like this, and it firmly makes me believe this is that you actually spend your whole life living through your childhood 3 times. Okay, the first time you experience childhood, the second time you overcome childhood, and the third time you advance past childhood. All right, and it takes the entirety of your life. I feel like the life's journey is literally just understanding and moving past all the shit that happened in your childhood.
You know what?
That's
a very good. That's a good synopsis of that.
Okay, well, I'll say that, but I'll take a less negative and more neutral stance to that. Life is also learning how to incorporate what you've learned and how the person you become because of childhood, and using those assets to better yourself and to further yourself. So it's almost like.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt, but no, I agree. And actually, I didn't mean it entirely in a negative aspect. There are some people who love their childhood. For them, the childhood was golden years, but you still have to overcome it and move past it in the same way. You have to take those experiences, digest them, process them, and transform them.
Well, yeah. It's like it's like being like as a child, you're clay. And you're beaten into something that you really have no idea that you're beaten into. And it's like when you get to a certain age, you have to look over yourself and realize how you were forged and how you were molded and how to incorporate that and use that to your best advantage. It's like almost like because you don't really realize who you are. It's a lifelong process of realizing who you are. But a lot of who you are was built during that time where you had no idea or even couldn't even look back. Because until you're like 20, 25, I mean, right around your age, in my opinion, and for most people, I'm not saying it's everybody, but right around 15, 16, 17, you really start realizing what you are, like what was made of you, like in terms of your formative years. And it's not just nurture, it's nature too. But the whole point is learning who you are. And that continues. It's almost like, it's a crazy philosophical question here, but the more you learn about yourself, the more you need to learn, or the more mysteries come out.
Yeah, well, you start digging for more. You're like hungrier for knowledge.
Because
like,
here's the thing that actually weirds me out about this is, like I said, Max, we've talked about this for years.
You guys always ripped on me on how I ate my food.
But this is the first time you ever really went, oh, that's why. Which makes you wonder, how did you not catch that before?
I think I did. I don't think I voiced it, really. I've just never really have been in a conversation where, I've been like, well, back in first grade, or something.
Well, that's the thing,
like
but it seems like that should have come up before. I think you actually didn't realize it and kind of came to the realization, and they were like, oh, wait, yeah, that's why.
Maybe so.
Or part of why. I'm not saying this is the only reason. I think there's something. I think it's just the way you are, just consuming and impatient. Like, that's kind of like it's a little bit of part of that too. I think. Well, but this is definitely something too.
But this is what makes me impatient is other people kind of being pushy towards you. Like, come on, hurry up, and then you're just like, okay. See, here we go. This is why I think, why I kind of frown down upon people who sort of procrastinate and drag their feet and all kinds of shit. Because, I've had people, not just with the food thing, but even, as a kid, my mom used to make me do my homework right when I got home. You know what I'm saying? Because there was one time when I came home, I had a shitload of homework. I didn't start till like 8 o'clock at night. And she was like, you know what? When you get off that bus tomorrow, you're going to do your homework. You're not going to play until you do your homework. So, I guess that's kind of why I'm an impatient dude. I've always, lagging and procrastinating has always been frowned down upon with people I've been around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think before we wrap this up, I think one more thing about that is I also think because of this is going to be a Sidey McSidey thing, but because of your visual impairment, naturally you're going to take things slower just because that's just the way it is. So everyone else around you going faster might make you feel like you need to go faster too.
Like you're inadequate
to compensate, to be like, oh, well, I'm going to do this. I'm not the one who's going to be lagging behind. I'm not sitting on my ass,
Yeah, no, you're right.
I think that's without a doubt. I think anyone with any kind of physical or mental disability, I think they're always going to have a little bit of a catch-up mentality because they have to. A lot of people assume the worst in people with any kind of impairment, so they have to have a catch-up attitude because a lot of people don't want to look past that. A lot of people, want to look at, Maxwell and go, oh, look, it's a bugger, I'm going to need this guy, and in reality, it's so far from the case, and sadly enough, you have to prove that to people, to get ahead and to make them realize, oh shit, it's a real fucking person. Who knew?
And Kraken, we always talk about this. We were just talking about this Thursday. How it seemed like even when you try to prove yourself, they still have this preconceived notion that's so deeply ingrained in their mind that they can't move past it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, and instead of being a regular person, you're gifted, all right? You're such a gifted, visually impaired guy, Maxwell. You're so gifted. You're so smart. You're above the norm, all right? You are not par of the course for blind people, you know? And that's the challenges, that you have to overcome. And I think that's a very big reason why you have that, progressive, like, gotta get this done attitude.
Yeah, I think you're right, man. I'm hardest on myself because of what I think people are thinking. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think, man? One more fuck you niggas, good luck you niggas, or you want to save that one?
Do you want to do it? I think we should do it now. We got both. Let's do it now.
Let's fun Glun number 2, man.
Fun Glun number 2.
Fun Glun number 2. I mean, we got some time here. So Fun Glun number 2 here.
All right. Now we're gonna be steering off a little bit, folks. Okay, we're going away from country. All right, the down home country rap, and we're moving on to something a little bit different. So just prepare yourself mentally.
Yeah. This guy's name is Murderman 702. He's from here.
I always like him.
I've had him on the show way back in the day. Now, these songs that I sent you, or this song we're going to play, I have not heard. So I'm going to be as surprised as you will.
And this is track number 7 on his album. I don't know what his album is called, but it's called BTK. So that's the one I chose.
Track. Okay.
So where's this? None of us have heard this before.
No, I have not.
So Max hasn't heard this. We can't have like a. That's the thing. You've listened to other songs, so you've had. This is going to be completely off the cuff here. So
yeah, I've never heard this one.
And we'll try to be just as nice as we were to the last one. So here we go.
Exactly. Nice.
All right.
Here we go. Ooh.
Patiently waiting, saving my tools for the best one to wreck. Looking for the one with the prettiest neck. Thought
Lyrics are kind of elementary, huh?
They're elementary, but the point is getting across.
Yeah. You're kind of digging it, I don't think.
I kind of dig it a little bit. I wouldn't nothing I would listen to, but I understand.
For me, it's a little elementary.
It's pretty simple.
I dig, no disrespect to Murder Man, but just it's compared to a lot of the horrorcore I like some really involved. I like necro and so you got to say some pretty wild shit to make me go, oh my god,
But the reason I think it works, I think it's like a good intro to this genre, and I like some of the beats, like like that kind of like.
Yeah, I like the little what he does with the snare drum. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Okay, that was lame. I'm sorry, a little cold at first. What do you think of that? See, that's a filler line.
Right.
Yeah, okay. All right,
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes the lyrics are a little fillery. But...
Yeah, fillery, like what you think of that? That was like, I can't think of anything else to rhyme with. So I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Kraken?
All right, I've been digesting this the whole time. That's why I've been quiet. And okay, so hear me out. All right. All right. This song sounds like Marilyn Manson and Enigma tried to collaborate together to make a rap song.
Marilyn Manson and Enigma.
You got the chorus like, oh, and,
right,
and
with the abstract sounds.
Like, I'm going to mourn and soak and build, and I'm like, I just can't get it out of my head. Now, don't get me wrong, that might not necessarily be a bad thing. It's just not my thing.
You know what it makes me think of, Max?
Yeah.
Here's what it makes me think of. Born to sin. Intention sacrilegious. I'm malicious, vicious, making clergy suspicious. See, but it's not. It's just kind of simple.
Right. It's the same kind of feel,
Yeah, I mean, some of the lyrics, like I don't like lyrics that fill. Like what'd you think of that? Like that's why the first part of the song there was a story. There was at least a coherent. Like, okay, I'm waiting in an alley. She's looking at her cell phone. She's breathing. It was a story about something, so it was at least cohesive and not like, well, blah 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 blah. Because I was expecting, honestly, like blingy blingy, I don't know.
Oh, it's horrorcore, man. No, he's not bling blinging anything.
Well, good, because it was okay. It's not my style of music, but it was definitely better than a lot of the stuff. It was definitely better than the last song, but that was a different genre. But in terms of horrorcore,
but. Well, like I said, for me, the lyrics were a little simple for horrorcore. I mean, with horrorcore, dude, you got to kind of outmatch the last guy. You know what I'm saying? If the dude's talking about fucking corpses, you better talk about burning than fucking corpses. Yeah. You know what I mean?
This is like the radio cut horrorcore.
Kind of like stereotypical horrorcore, right?
Yeah, this would be like a 99.4 horrorcore radio. This is time for BTK.
Kind of like. Yeah, like, all right, now we've got Murder Man 702 with BTK on your radio dial. Keep it evil, bitches.
He says provocative stuffs like stick a knife in your gut, you dirty, filthy slut.
Coming up next, we have Justin Bieber's intro into horrorcore called Love You in My Bloody Time of the Month.
Yes. Love you.
Fuck you on the rag, gushing in the bag.
Baby, ooh, I put you in a blender. Yeah.
So if anybody else wants to have their shit critiqued by the Nothing Sacred crew, send your shit to stimradio@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. And we'd be glad to. And again, make sure you have thick skin, man. Shit does get criticized on here. If we're not feeling something.
Yeah,
So-
and honestly, aside from all the fun that was made, and this extends back to the first Fun Glun track as well, alright? It's rough around the edges, but it is music, okay? And you guys are trying, and I appreciate that, alright? And the whole point is to keep going at it, alright? To keep refining your material and searching for new ways to be creative. So,
Right.
all in all, I'm not entirely disappointed. This wasn't a session of, oh my goodness, this was garbage. This was actual music, and this was actually good tries, and I appreciated that.
Yeah.
You know what? And here's the thing, too, man. Here's what I found. Maybe more of the people who say negative shit about your music are the ones who seem to push you the furthest. Whereas the ones who always give you positive reinforcement and lie to you all the fucking time and tell you how great you are, are the ones who really kind of ruin you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it's the negatives, actually, that push you further, I think.
Yeah, so I'm going to give that one a 5 out of 10, 5 or 6 out of 10, something around there, right in the middle, nothing average, and because nothing bad. The
Right.
last one was kind of a little below average, just because it was just so monotonous to me, and just kind of everything sounded the same. But this one,
I
at
kind
least,
of like that one better, but I guess that was, that's kind of me.
of course,
I agree. I can understand where Maxwell's coming from. The beat and the rhythm of the last track was better, in my opinion. But overall, I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 10 as well, because the cohesiveness of this track I felt was more important. It actually had direction, where in which the last track I feel lacked direction.
Yeah, the last track was like
okay, so it's on a direction.
Yeah,
Okay.
the last track was like the generic saltine cracker of pop R&B.
Right.
Like this was probably the generic saltine cracker of horrorcore.
Horrorcore?
But at
Yeah.
least this one had horrorcore as something unique in itself and a little bit more unique.
Yeah.
So it was it was okay. So
Cool.
But
All right.
ultimately, thank you guys for letting us listen to your music. So, fuck
yeah,
you
absolutely.
niggas, and
good luck, you
Lucky
niggas.
niggas.
So,
Yeah. Hell
so
yeah.
and I think actually I'm pretty good for the night, man. What do you guys
I'm
think?
pretty good for tonight, too, man.
All right, so that's right about an hour for this. So that's actually Poific time. We'll be back. We'll get this up tomorrow. So you'll have it up. We'll get it up. Get it up tomorrow.
Penis.
Yeah, penis.
It's what is it? Constant boner? What's Jeremy's
Endless
song?
boner.
Endless
alright?
boner? Yeah.
Endless boner. That should be the name of that song. Instead, turn it.
Endless boner.
I'm telling you,
And Jeremy, we will always have an endless boner for you.
exactly. Endless
Hey,
boner.
Jeremy's cool, man. Jeremy's my dipping homie, man. He dips.
Sweet, man.
Oh,
Well, hey,
okay.
thanks for showing that much. Thank you, guys. We'll see y'all next time. Once again, this is Nothing Sacred for January 10th, 2016. I am Cruise Control. Thank you,
All right,
Kraken.
Maxwell Silverhammer.
The Kraken.
Thank you for coming on. And once again, that's the
That's the
story
story
there,
there,
bitches. And fuck you all. See you all next time.
In the mouth.
Later, asses.